Now that we've looked at place value, let's use that place value to convert decimals into fractions. The first thing we are going to do is identify the place value of the last digit in the number. So if I were looking at the first one down here, the last digit in my number is the 8. If I compare that to my place value chart from the last video, I can see that it is in the hundredths place. So we've done part one. The second part is to write your number and we are going to remove the decimal and any leading zeros. A leading zero would be like 0.08. The 0 in front of the 8 is unnecessary in this part of the problem, so we would just use the 8. We're going to write that as the numerator. In a fraction. The denominator will be that place value that you identified. So if I go down here and use our 0.08 example, I'm going to take out the decimal place and I'm going to take out that 0 right there. And I'm going to write this as 8 over 100 because the 8 was in the hundredths place. If it had been 8 thousandths, then I would have put 8 over 1,000. Our last step is to reduce to lowest terms. Now I know we've already done a lesson on reducing to lowest terms. I am going to go the short way. I am going to clear out everything I already have in Desmos, and I'm going to put in my fraction, 8 over 100. Now, it's going to give me the same decimal we've been trying to work with, and that is less than helpful. But if you look at the little circle with the 2 boxes right next to your answer, clicking on that box or tapping on that box gives you the fraction in lowest terms. So the official fraction for 8 hundredths is 2 over 25, or 2/25. I'm going to go do another one. This 176, or I'm sorry, 1.76, the first thing I need to do is determine the place value of the last digit in my answer? Well, it's a 6. That 6 is in the hundredths place. So part 1 is done. Part 2 said to rewrite your number without its decimal point and without any leading zeros. Well, I don't have any leading zeros, and I can take out the decimal very easily. I can make it a numerator of a fraction by putting the fraction bar underneath it. And since this was in the hundredths place, we'll divide it by 100. Then I can go over here to my handy dandy Desmos, put in my fraction, and click on the little fraction button on the right side. And I get 44/25. We'll do one more. I'm going to follow the same steps as before. I'm going to identify the place value of my last digit. If you need your place value chart, go ahead and refer back to it. I was 3 spots from the decimal place. So that means I am interested in the thousandths place. That's the same as 1/1000. So I am going to write my number without the decimal and without the leading zeros. That would be these zeros right there. And in the denominator, I'm going to use 1000. And I go back over to here to Desmos. Whoops. Hit my fraction button, and I get 1/200. I'm going to go ahead and do 6. I know I said I was only going to do one more, but I want to do 6 to show you whether or not we need that last 0. We eliminated the leading zeros. We're not going to need this guy. I want to show you what happens when you have a trailing 0. So if I do it the first way, with the trailing 0, that 0 is in the thousandths place. So I would put 120 over 1000. So I get 3/25. So now I am going to do it again. I'll just rewrite it down here. And I'm going to eliminate the trailing 0. Now my 2 is in the hundredths place. So if I write it now as 12/100, I end up in exactly the same place. Either way, the equivalent fraction for our decimal is 3/25. It doesn't matter which direction you go, whether you keep the trailing decimal or you eliminate the trailing decimal. Your choice. Pick a way and get good at it.